Dr. Amanda Brooks wiped the red Martian dust from her helmet's visor, her breath echoing inside her suit as she stared at the peculiar readings on her scanner. Something about these cave formations didn't make sense. The crystalline structures shouldn't exist this deep in Valles Marineris, yet here they were, defying every geological principle she knew. "Control, are you seeing these readings?" she asked, adjusting her suit's external lights to better illuminate the cavern walls. The crystals seemed to pulse with an inner light, responding to her presence. Static crackled through her comm. "Barely getting you, Dr. Brooks. Signals degrading the deeper you go. Maybe we should call it a day." She smiled, recognizing the concern in Mission Director Wilson's voice. "Just 15 more minutes, Control. There's something different about this formation. The quantum signature is..." The ground shifted beneath her feet. "Dr. Brooks," a voice cut through her comm. Michael Harrison, her research assistant, who had been mapping the tunnel 20 meters behind her. "Seismic activity spiking. We need to evacuate now." The crystal formations began to hum, their frequency increasing as the tremors intensified. Amanda turned to retreat, but the path behind her collapsed in a shower of rocks and dust. She dove forward, barely avoiding being crushed. "Amanda." Michael's voice crackled through static. "Are you okay?" "Response team is en route." But another tremor cut him off. The ground split open beneath Amanda's feet, and she found herself sliding deeper into the cavern. Her suit's emergency thrusters fired automatically, stabilizing her descent, but the cave-in had sealed her original exit. "Oxygen at 82% and falling," her suit's AI announced calmly. "Estimated 4 hours of breathable air remaining." "Control, do you copy?" Static answered. She was too deep for signals to penetrate the Martian rock. Alone, trapped, with limited air. It was every Martian explorer's nightmare. But something caught her eye. The crystal formations hadn't just been exposed by the cave-in. They formed a pattern. An artificial pattern. Her hands trembled as she brushed away centuries of dust, revealing metallic edges beneath the crystal growth. "My God," she whispered. It was a door. Not rough-hewn or natural, but precisely engineered, bearing markings she recognized instantly. The United Earth Federation seal, albeit an ancient version of it. Her suit's sensors indicated an energy signature emanating from behind the door. Active power, after all these centuries. She found a panel beside the entrance, its surface responding to her touch. A holographic interface sprang to life, displaying a simple message. Voice authorization required. State humanity's purpose. Amanda laughed despite herself. A riddle? Now, with her oxygen slowly depleting, she thought about mankind's journey to the stars, about all the reasons they'd ventured into space. To explore, she tried. Nothing. To survive. Still nothing. To evolve. The panel remained inactive. She thought deeper, about what truly drove humanity forward, about what had brought her to this cave on Mars. "To understand," she whispered. The door slid open with a hiss of preserved atmosphere. Inside, lights flickered to life, revealing a chamber that defied everything she thought she knew about Mars' history. Holographic displays activated, showing technical specifications that made her gasp. At the center stood a quantum computer, still functioning after centuries, its design more advanced than anything currently in existence. And there, projected above it all, was a message that would change humanity's destiny. "To those who find this vault, we left this design when we realized what was coming. You'll need it sooner than you think." The blueprints contained herein represent humanity's ultimate achievement in defensive capabilities. "Build this when you're ready. You'll know when." As Amanda stared at the rotating hologram of what could only be described as a warship, her suit's sensors detected approaching rescue teams. She quickly began downloading the data to her suit's memory core. Whatever this was, whoever had left it, they had wanted humanity to find it. And somehow, she knew they'd need it soon. Colonel Jack Morrison stood at the bridge of the UEF Thunderchild, his knuckles white against the command rail as he watched another human colony vanish from the tactical display. The hexapod's biomechanical ships swarmed through New Titan's defenses, like locusts through wheat, their crystalline hulls refracting the light of nearby stars into deadly energy beams. "Sir, Outpost 7 has gone dark," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, her voice steady despite the horror they were witnessing. "That's the third defensive position we've lost in the last hour." Jack closed his eyes, remembering the message from his daughter, Amy, just yesterday. She was stationed on Europa Colony, right in the path of the hexapod advance. Status of the civilian evacuation: 60% complete, sir, but Rodriguez's words cut off as new alerts flooded their screens. Multiple quantum signatures detected. They're making another push. The void erupted with shifting geometric patterns as hexapod vessels phased into reality. Their ships resembled massive crystalline insects, each facet capable of channeling enough energy to slice through battleship armor like paper. The sight still made Jack's stomach turn. There was something fundamentally wrong about how they moved, how they fought. "All ships, defensive formation Delta," Jack ordered. "Concentrate fire on their lead vessel. Don't let them establish their hive link." The human fleet responded admirably, plasma torpedoes and railgun fire converging on the largest hexapod ship. For a moment, Jack allowed himself to hope. Then the enemy vessel's crystal facets shifted, redirecting the incoming fire into their own fleet's shields, strengthening them. "Sir, they're adapting to our attack patterns faster than before," his tactical officer warned. "The hive mind is learning." A brilliant flash lit up the bridge view screen as the UEF Constantine, their newest dreadnought, disappeared in a cascade of quantum fire. 2,000 souls, gone in an instant. Jack's neural implant pinged with an urgent message. Europa Colony was under attack. "Amy." "Message from Fleet Command," Rodriguez announced. They're ordering a full retreat from the Titan sector." "Sir, we can't hold this line." Jack's mind raced back to the classified briefing he received last week. Dr. Brooks's discovery on Mars, the ancient fault, the mysterious warship designs. He'd dismissed it as a desperate grasp at false hope. Now, as he watched humanity's finest ships falling one by one, that hope seemed like their only option. "Send to Fleet Command. Request immediate implementation of Protocol Phoenix," Jack ordered, his voice grave. "Authorization Morrison 77 Alpha." Rodriguez's eyes widened. "Sir, that's the classified." "Do it, Lieutenant, and get me a quantum channel to Europa Colony." The next few minutes were chaos. The hexapods pressed their advantage, their formations becoming more complex, more alien. Each human ship that fell seemed to make them stronger, their hive mind incorporating new data about human tactics. Finally, a static-filled channel opened. "Europa Colony, emergency channel." "Amy? Amy, are you there?" His daughter's voice came through, broken by interference. "Dad, they're here. They're everywhere. The shelters aren't going to hold." "What are these things?" "Listen to me," Jack said, keeping his voice steady as another explosion rocked his ship. "Get to the deep bunkers. The ones we discussed. Stay there until..." The channel died in a burst of static. On his tactical display, Europa Colony's icon began flashing red. "Sir," Rodriguez said softly, "Fleet Command acknowledges Protocol Phoenix. They're saying it's ready. The ship they built from those ancient plans. They're calling it the Legacy." Jack stared out at the battlefield, at the crystalline death dealing destruction to everything humanity had built. He thought of Amy, of all the other daughters and sons hiding in bunkers across human space. The hexapods had pushed them to the breaking point, thinking they'd found humanity's limit. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Send to all remaining ships," he ordered. "Fall back to Jupiter. It's time to show them what humanity has been holding in reserve." Dr. Melissa Taylor stood in the heart of Jupiter's secret shipyard, watching quantum particles dance through the prototype's containment field. The miniaturized version of the Legacy's core system hummed with an otherworldly resonance, its crystalline structure eerily similar to their enemy's technology, yet fundamentally different. Running Test Sequence 17, her assistant, James Walker, announced from the control station. Power output at 30% and holding steady. Melissa nodded, her neural implant streaming real-time data from the experiment. The readings didn't make sense. They never did. According to every known law of physics, the device shouldn't work. Yet here it was, manipulating probability itself. Push it to 40%, she ordered, ignoring the nervous glances from her team. They'd lost 3 prototypes already, each failure costing precious resources they couldn't spare. But with colonies falling daily to the hexapod advance, they had no choice but to push harder. The prototype's hum deepened, its crystal matrix pulsing with internal light. On the quantum monitors, reality itself seemed to bend around the device. James's hands flew over his controls, making micro-adjustments to keep the reaction stable. "Dr. Taylor," a new voice called. She turned to see Admiral Chen entering the lab, accompanied by a familiar face. Dr. Amanda Brooks, the archaeologist who discovered the original blueprints on Mars. "Time for an update. The Defense Council is breathing down my neck." Melissa gestured to the prototype. "We've cracked the basic principles. The ancient designs, they're not just advanced technology. There's something else entirely." "Explain," Chen demanded. "The hexapods use quantum crystalline technology to coordinate their hive mind, right? Well, this..." She pointed to the prototype, now thrumming with energy. "This doesn't just operate on a quantum level. It manipulates the probability stream itself. It's like the ship doesn't just predict the future. It chooses which future happens." Amanda stepped closer to the containment field, her eyes wide. "That's why the message said we'd know when to build it. They knew we'd need something that could counter the hexapod's hive mind advantage." 50% power, James called out. The prototype's crystal matrix began to spin, creating patterns that hurt the eyes to look at directly. "The real breakthrough," Melissa continued, "came when we realized why all our AI test pilots failed. The system doesn't need a purely logical mind. It needs chaos," Amanda finished. "It needs human intuition, our ability to make illogical leaps, to embrace uncertainty." The prototype suddenly flared, its light intensifying. But instead of the catastrophic failure they'd seen in previous tests, something remarkable happened. The quantum field stabilized, forming perfect geometric patterns that shifted and flowed like living art. "My God," Chen whispered. "It's beautiful." 60% power, James reported, his voice tense with excitement. "Field stability at 98%. This is further than we've ever gotten." Melissa's neural implant pinged with an incoming priority message. Her heart stopped when she saw the sender, her brother, serving on the front lines near Saturn. "The hexapods have broken through at Titan," she read aloud, her voice cracking. They're advancing faster than we predicted. We have weeks, maybe days." Admiral Chen straightened, his expression hardening. "How long until the full-scale legacy is ready?" Melissa looked at her prototype, still dancing with impossible light. "The hull is nearly complete. We've got teams working round the clock installing the quantum matrix. But without a pilot." "I have a candidate," Chen said. "Captain Nathan Hayes. He's already volunteered." "Sir," Melissa protested, "the neural interface could kill them. We haven't even tested." A massive explosion rocked the facility, sending them all stumbling. Warning klaxons blared. "Perimeter breach," the voice shouted over the facility's comm. Hexapod scout ships detected in the upper atmosphere. They all stared at each other, the gravity of the situation sinking in. Their secret shipyard, hidden in Jupiter's radiation belt, had been discovered. "Launch protocols," Chen barked into his comm. "Now. Ready or not, the Legacy launches today. Dr. Taylor, get your team to the ship. It's time to see if humanity's inheritance works as advertised." As Melissa rushed to save her data, she glanced one last time at the prototype. Its light now pulsed in perfect rhythm with her heartbeat, as if it had been waiting all along for this moment. Humanity's time for preparation was over. The real test was about to begin. Captain Nathan Hayes floated in the Legacy's neural chamber, surrounded by a translucent quantum gel that sparkled like starlight. Dozens of hair-thin filaments connected his neural implants to the ship's core, each one burning like ice in his mind. Neural sync at 40%. Dr. Taylor's voice echoed through the chamber. Captain, your vitals are spiking. We can still abort. Nathan forced his eyes open, watching the quantum pattern swirl around him. No time, he managed through gritted teeth. Continue the integration. He thought of his wife and daughter, lost during the fall of New Washington. The hexapods hadn't even tried to communicate. They'd simply started consuming everything in their path, converting human technology and biomass into more of their crystalline ships. 50% sync, James Walker announced from the monitoring station. Quantum field stabilizing. Wait, something's wrong. His consciousness is spreading too fast. The pain intensified. Nathan felt his mind expanding, stretching beyond the confines of his skull. Suddenly, he wasn't just in the neural chamber. He was everywhere. He could feel every circuit, every quantum crystal in the Legacy's vast structure. And beyond that, oh God, he gasped. I can feel them. Everyone. I can feel everyone. Through the Legacy's systems, his consciousness touched the minds of every human within range. He felt their fear, their determination, their hope. Thousands of minds, each one a unique pattern in the quantum field. His neural patterns are cascading. Someone shouted, "We're losing him." No, Dr. Taylor's voice cut through the chaos. Look at the quantum harmonics. The ship, it's adapting to him. Nathan floated in an ocean of consciousness, drowning in the collective thoughts of humanity. The pain became unbearable, his mind threatening to shatter under the weight of so many connections. Then he remembered something his daughter had once said, watching waves on a beach. Daddy, the ocean's so big. How does it know where to stop? It doesn't stop, he realized. It flows. It adapts. It becomes. Instead of fighting the flood of consciousness, Nathan let go. Let himself become part of the flow. The pain transformed into something else. Understanding. Neural sync at 90%, Walker reported, awe in his voice. He's doing it. Through the Legacy sensors, Nathan could see in all directions at once. He perceived quantum probabilities as clearly as physical objects, watching potential futures branch and merge like rivers of light. Captain Hayes, Dr. Taylor called. Are you still with us? I'm here, he replied, his voice resonating through the ship's systems. But I'm also more. The ship, it's not just a weapon. It's a bridge. A bridge to what? To everything we could be. Nathan opened his eyes, now glowing with the same quantum light that pulsed through the Legacy's crystal matrix. I can see them now. The hexapods. Their hive mind, it's so ordered, so perfect. That's why they can't beat us. I don't understand, Dr. Taylor said. Chaos. Nathan laughed, finally understanding what the ancient builders had created. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our determination. It's our chaos. Our ability to be unpredictable, to defy probability itself. Warning alarms blared throughout the shipyard. On the quantum radar, Nathan could see the hexapod scouts beginning their attack run. We're out of time. Admiral Chen's voice came through the comm. Captain Hayes, can you operate the ship? Nathan flexed his newfound awareness, feeling the Legacy respond like an extension of his own body. Through the neural network, he could sense the crew's minds linking with his, adding their strength to his connection. Sir, he replied, a smile crossing his face as the ship's weapons came online. I've never been more ready. The Legacy's quantum drive hummed to life, probability fields wrapping around its crystalline, hull-like armor made of light itself. As the first hexapod weapons fire approached, Nathan reached out with his expanded consciousness, seeing every possible future at once. Time to show them why the ancient builders chose humanity as their heirs. "All hands," he commanded, his voice carrying through both comm systems and neural links. "Prepare for combat. Let's show these hive mind bastards what chaos can do." The hexapod fleet descended on Saturn's rings like a swarm of crystalline locusts, their ships refracting the gas giant's light into deadly prismatic beams. The last human defensive line, 12 battleships and their escorts, held position near Titan, waiting for the inevitable end. Colonel Jack Morrison watched from the bridge of the UEF Thunderchild as the enemy approached. Still no word from the Jupiter shipyards. "Nothing, sir," Lieutenant Rodriguez replied. "Last transmission mentioned a breakthrough, but..." Space itself seemed to ripple. The quantum distortion, unlike anything they'd seen before, erupted between the two fleets. The Legacy emerged from the distortion, its hull flowing like liquid mercury, etched with patterns that hurt the mind to look at directly. Inside the neural chamber, Captain Nathan Hayes perceived reality in ways no human was meant to see. Through the Legacy's quantum sensors, he watched probability streams flow around the hexapod fleet like currents in a cosmic ocean. "This is Captain Hayes to all UEF vessels," he transmitted. "Fall back to secondary positions. Let them see what humanity has been holding in reserve." The hexapod fleet paused, the first time anyone had seen them hesitate. Their crystalline ships began shifting formation, adapting to this new threat. "They're scanning us," Dr. Taylor reported from her station. "Their quantum signatures are..." "They're afraid, Captain." Nathan smiled. Through the ship's neural network, he felt the crew's collective determination flowing into him. The Legacy's systems responded instantly to his thoughts, probability fields wrapping around the hull like layers of liquid light. The hexapods struck first. Hundreds of energy beams converged on the Legacy's position, enough firepower to vaporize a small moon. But Nathan had seen this attack coming before they launched it, had seen every possible variation of it through the quantum probability streams. The Legacy danced. There was no other word for it. The ship flowed through space like water through air, each movement precise yet impossible to predict. Every beam missed, striking empty space where the ship had been microseconds before. "My God," Morrison whispered, watching from the Thunderchild. "It's not just evading. It's choosing which future to make real." Nathan reached out with the Legacy's weapons. Quantum lances of pure possibility struck the hexapod fleet, not just damaging their ships but erasing certain portions from probability itself. Where the beams hit, crystal hulls simply ceased to exist, as if they'd never been there at all. The hexapod hive mind reacted with mechanical precision, their ships moving in perfect geometric patterns. But perfection was their weakness. Through the quantum probability streams, Nathan could see every move they'd make before they made it. "They're trying to establish a full hive link," Dr. Taylor warned. "If they synchronize completely." "They won't," Nathan interrupted. He felt the Legacy's power flowing through him, harmonizing with the chaos of human consciousness. "Everyone, race for temporal displacement." The Legacy's quantum drive pulsed. Reality shuddered. The ship existed in multiple moments, simultaneously, striking the hexapod fleet from 3 different time streams at once. Their perfect formation shattered as they tried to defend against attacks that existed in multiple whens as well as wheres. Through it all, Nathan felt something else, a growing connection with the hexapod hive mind itself. In their panic, their thoughts became clearer. He caught fragments of their collective consciousness. *wrong / impossible / chaos / fear *. The great darkness comes / flee / survive / must adapt *. "Captain," Dr. Taylor's voice cut through his thoughts. "Their fleet is retreating. We've actually done it." Nathan watched through quantum-enhanced senses as the remaining hexapod ships phased away, their crystalline forms disappearing into higher dimensions. But he couldn't celebrate what he'd seen in their thoughts. "Get me a secure channel to Admiral Chen," he ordered. "There's something everyone needs to know. The hexapods, they're not the real enemy. They're running from something worse, something that's been chasing them across the galaxy." As the human fleet regrouped around Saturn, Nathan stared into the quantum probability streams, seeing darker possibilities lurking at the edges of reality. The Legacy wasn't just built to save humanity from the hexapods. It was built to prepare them for what came next. The debris field from the Battle of Saturn glittered like diamond dust against the gas giant's rings. Captain Nathan Hayes watched through the Legacy's quantum sensors as cleanup crews salvaged what they could from the destroyed hexapod vessels. Each crystalline fragment held patterns that seemed to mock the very laws of physics. "Neural load at 60%, Dr. Taylor reported from her station. "How are you holding up, Captain?" Nathan flexed his consciousness through the ship's systems, feeling the quantum probability streams flow around him like currents in an infinite ocean. "Better. I'm starting to understand how they think." Through the neural interface, he replayed the battle in his mind. The hexapods' movements had been perfect, precise, and that had been their downfall. Their hive mind fought in straight lines, while humanity's chaotic nature let them bend probability itself. "Incoming transmission from Europa Colony," Lieutenant Walker announced. "Colonel Morrison's daughter. They found her, sir. She's alive." A smile crossed Nathan's face. In the quantum streams, he'd seen the possibility of her survival, had nudged reality toward that particular future during the battle. The Legacy wasn't just a weapon. It was a tool for reshaping probability itself. Multiple quantum signatures detected. Walker's voice turned urgent. "Massive hexapod fleet incoming." The void erupted with crystalline shapes, but something was different this time. The hexapod ships moved erratically, their perfect formations replaced by chaotic patterns that seemed almost human. "They're adapting," Nathan realized. Through the Legacy's sensors, he could see the hexapod hive mind fracturing, deliberately introducing chaos into their own consciousness. "They're learning from us." Dr. Taylor's hands flew over her console. "Their quantum signatures are all over the place. We can't predict their movements anymore." Nathan closed his eyes, letting his awareness expand through the Legacy systems. The probability streams around the hexapod fleet had become turbulent, branching into countless possible futures. But there was something else, a pattern within the chaos. "They're not just mimicking us," he said. "They're trying to communicate." Through the quantum link, images flooded his mind. Vast beings of pure order, consuming entire galaxies. The hexapod's homeworld, transformed into a perfect crystalline sphere before being systematically erased from existence. Their flight across countless light years, their desperate attempt to find someone, anyone, who could help them fight back. "Captain," Walker shouted, "they're charging weapons." But Nathan saw the truth in the probability streams. "No, they're opening their minds to us." "Dr. Taylor, route all power to the quantum communications array." The Legacy's crystal matrix hummed as Nathan reached out to the hexapod hive mind. Instead of fighting their chaos, he embraced it, letting their thoughts flow into his consciousness like tributaries joining a river. *understanding/finally/hope*. The hexapod ships moved closer, their crystalline hulls resonating with the Legacy's quantum field. Through their shared connection, Nathan felt their collective consciousness. Not the rigid, ordered thing it had been, but something new. Something that combined their unity with humanity's adaptability. "This is what the ancient builders knew we'd need," Nathan said, his voice filled with awe. "Not just a weapon, but a bridge. The hexapods aren't our enemy. They're our teachers, and we're theirs." On his quantum display, he could see the dark possibilities lurking at the edges of known space. The true threat that had driven the hexapods to flee, that had prompted humanity's future selves to hide the Legacy's blueprints in that Martian vault. "Send to all UEF commands," he ordered. "The paradigm has shifted. We're not fighting an invasion anymore. We're preparing for a war that will determine the fate of every sentient species in the galaxy." As human and hexapod ships maneuvered into joint formation around Saturn, Nathan felt the Legacy's systems adapting, growing stronger with each moment of shared consciousness. The ancient builders had known that neither human chaos nor hexapod order alone would be enough for what was coming. Only together did they stand a chance against the darkness between the stars. The combined human-hexapod fleet hung in high orbit above Jupiter, their ships arranged in a pattern that represented both perfect geometry and controlled chaos. At the center, the Legacy pulsed with quantum energy, its crystalline hull now incorporating elements of hexapod technology. Captain Nathan Hayes stood in the neural chamber, no longer needing the quantum gel to interface with the ship. His consciousness flowed freely through the Legacy systems, touching both human and hexapod minds with equal ease. "The deep space sensors are online," Dr. Taylor reported, her voice tense. "Whatever's out there, we should be able to see it now." Through the Legacy's enhanced detection systems, Nathan peered into the void between galaxies. The quantum probability streams there were wrong, distorted, as if something was actively erasing possible futures. "Show me," he commanded. The main display lit up with an image that defied comprehension. Vast shapes moved through the darkness, their forms shifting between dimensions. Where they passed, reality itself seemed to unravel. "My God," Colonel Morrison whispered from his position on the bridge. "What are we looking at? Order bringers / reality shapers / end of all things. The hexapod consciousness supplied through their shared neural link. They consume diversity / enforce perfection / erase possibility *. Nathan felt a chill as he understood. They're not just destroying civilizations, they're destroying choice itself. Every universe they touch becomes locked into a single, perfect, unchangeable pattern. Through the quantum sensors, he watched as a distant star system vanished, not destroyed, but transformed into something that hurt the mind to perceive. A space where probability no longer existed, where every outcome was predetermined. "That's why the ancient builders chose us," Dr. Taylor realized, looking at data streaming across her console. Humanity's chaos, combined with hexapod unity, we're the only ones who can fight back against perfect order. Suddenly, the Legacy's sensors screamed. A rift opened in space-time, mere light minutes from Jupiter. Something began to emerge, a construct that seemed to exist in every possible and impossible configuration simultaneously. "Battle stations," Morrison barked. "All ships, defensive formation." But Nathan raised his hand, his eyes glowing with quantum energy. Through the Legacy's systems, he could see something familiar in the rift's pattern. "Wait, look at the quantum signature. It's the same as the Legacy's." The rift stabilized, revealing a ship that mirrored the Legacy in design, yet seemed eons more advanced. Its hull bore the scars of countless battles, and its quantum field resonated with both human and hexapod frequencies. A transmission cut through all frequencies, both conventional and quantum. To the combined fleet of Earth and the hexapod collective, a familiar voice echoed. Nathan's own voice, aged by centuries. "We are the survivors of the last timeline. We've come to ensure this one survives." Through the quantum link, information flooded into Nathan's mind. Visions of countless futures where humanity and the hexapods failed to unite, where the Order bringers succeeded in their mission to enforce perfect, unchanging reality across all existence. "The vault on Mars," Nathan said, understanding at last. "You planted those blueprints, created a temporal loop to ensure we'd be ready." Yes, his future self confirmed. But the Legacy was just the beginning. What we built in our timeline, what we sacrificed everything to create, it's waiting for you. All of you. The ultimate weapon against perfect order. The senior Nathan's consciousness touched his younger self's mind, sharing one final vision. A massive structure hidden in fold space, built by the combined genius of humanity and the hexapods over thousands of years, a machine designed to preserve chaos itself. As the vision faded, Nathan turned to his crew, both human and hexapod, seeing in their faces and crystalline surfaces the same determination he felt. "Send to all ships," he ordered, feeling the Legacy's systems surge with power. "Set course for the coordinates we've received. It's time to claim our inheritance." The future Nathan's voice came through one last time. "Remember, they want to enforce perfect order on all reality. Our greatest weapon against them is that humans never do what they're supposed to." Nathan finished, smiling as the combined fleet prepared to jump. "We're gloriously, perfectly unpredictable." The fold space coordinates led the combined fleet to a region between galaxies, where reality itself seemed thin. Through the Legacy's quantum sensors, Captain Nathan Hayes watched as probability streams twisted around an impossible structure, a vast lattice of crystalline rings that encompassed the equivalent of the solar system. "The Chaos Engine," his future self's voice explained through the quantum link, "built across 10,000 years of combined human and hexapod engineering, the ultimate preservation of free will." As the fleet approached, Nathan felt the structure's power reaching out, resonating with both the human and hexapod consciousness flowing through the Legacy's neural network. "Multiple quantum rifts detected," Lieutenant Walker announced. "The Order Bringers. They're here." Space itself began to crystallize as vast entities emerged from higher dimensions. Their forms shifted between perfect geometric patterns, each movement erasing probability streams from existence. Behind them, stars began to fade into unchanging, predestined patterns. "All ships, battle formation," Colonel Morrison commanded from the Thunderchild. "Humanity and hexapod alike, we make our stand here." The Legacy surged forward, its hybrid systems now fully integrated with both human chaos and hexapod precision. Through the neural link, Nathan felt every crew member's consciousness joining with his, their combined will strengthening the ship's quantum field. "Dr. Taylor," he called, "initiate the sequence we prepared." Melissa's hands flew across her console, sharing the Legacy's hybrid technology with the entire fleet. One by one, human and hexapod ships began to resonate on the same quantum frequency, their hulls shifting to mirror the Legacy's crystalline patterns. The Order Bringers struck first. Reality-destroying beams lanced out, attempting to lock the fleet into single, unchangeable futures. But the combined consciousness of humans and hexapods created something new. Ships that could exist in multiple states simultaneously, embracing both perfect order and perfect chaos. "The Chaos Engine is powering up," future Nathan reported, "but we need to buy it time. Show them what humanity and the hexapods can do together." Nathan reached out through the Legacy systems, touching the minds of every being in the fleet. Human intuition merged with hexapod precision, creating battle strategies that defy prediction. Ships moved in formations that were simultaneously perfectly ordered and completely random. The Order Bringers reeled, their attempts to enforce causality disrupted by beings that could operate outside their conception of reality. But more rifts were opening, bringing reinforcements from across multiple dimensions. "Engine at 70%, Dr. Taylor shouted. "We just need a few more minutes." Nathan felt something changing in the quantum streams. The Chaos Engine wasn't just a weapon. It was a concept given form, the ultimate expression of free will and uncertainty. "All ships," he commanded, "direct your quantum fields toward the engine. Give it everything you have." Human determination flowed alongside hexapod unity. The Legacy pulsed with combined power, its hybrid systems channeling energy into the vast crystalline structure. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath. The Order Bringers sensed the danger too late. The Chaos Engine activated, its rings spinning with impossible energy. From its center, a wave of pure probability expanded outward, not destroying the Order Bringers, but transforming them. Their perfect forms shattered into infinite possibilities, forced to experience the beauty of uncertainty. Through the quantum link, Nathan felt the change rippling across space-time. Wherever the wave touched, predetermined futures burst into countless possibilities. Stars that had been locked into single patterns blazed with renewed chaos. Life that had been forced into perfect, unchanging patterns awakened to choice once more. "It's done," Future Nathan said softly. "This timeline is safe. Our work here is finished." As the future ship prepared to depart, Nathan looked at his crew, human and hexapod alike. Through their shared consciousness, he felt their unity, their strength, and most importantly, their endless potential for change. "Send to all ships," he ordered, watching the quantum probability streams flowing free once more. "Set course for home. We have a galaxy to rebuild. Together." The combined fleet turned toward the Milky Way, their hybrid ships shimmering with possibility. They had faced the ultimate order and emerged victorious, proving that the universe's greatest strength wasn't in perfection, but in its glorious, endless capacity for change. Humanity had fulfilled its ultimate purpose, ensuring that the future would always remain unwritten, free for all beings to shape as they chose.